On July 20th, 1969, the world watched in absolute awe as a Grumman-built lunar module touched down on the surface of the moon. It was the ultimate triumph of American engineering, a machine designed by the finest aerospace minds in Bethpage, New York, to survive the most hostile environment known to man. Thousands of Grumman employees took immense pride in the fact that 6 of those descent stages still sit on the lunar surface today, wearing Made in Bethpage nameplates. Thomas J. Kelly, the engineer known as the father of the lunar module, once said that those nameplates were something his people took great pride in. But today, there are 126,000 other Grumman vehicles still delivering mail across America, and they have outlived their planned retirement by nearly a decade. Built by that same lunar landing company, these aluminum-bodied workhorses have become both beloved icons and deadly traps for the postal workers who drive them. This is the autopsy of the Grumman Long Life vehicle, an aerospace-grade masterpiece that was built so well it became an automotive zombie, shambling through our neighborhoods years past its expiration date. To understand the birth of the LLV, we have to look back at 1984, when the United States Postal Service finally threw in the towel. For decades, mail carriers had been driving whatever was cheap and available. A chaotic, mismatched fleet of Studebakers, Willys Jeeps, Ford Pintos, Chrysler K-Cars, and random minivans. Training was a nightmare, maintenance was impossible, and the fleet was falling apart. The Postal Service issued a set of requirements for America's first purpose-built mail truck that were absolutely brutal. Each prototype had to survive automotive torture testing at its finest. They had to drive over 5,000 miles on paved roads at highway speeds, then 11,000 miles over gravel, followed by nearly 3,000 miles of constant stopping and starting every 250 feet. Finally, they had to crawl for 960 miles over cobblestones up to 4 inches high. 3 companies made it to the finals, but when the dust settled in Laredo, Texas, in 1985, Grumman Corporation emerged victorious. They won a $1.1 billion contract to build vehicles for a different kind of daily mission, one measured in mailboxes instead of miles to the moon. The resulting vehicle was elegantly simple. Grumman took a rugged Chevrolet S10 chassis, bolted on a rust-proof aluminum body that could carry 1,000 pounds of mail, and powered it with Pontiac's bulletproof 2.5-liter Iron Duke engine. It had under 100 horsepower, but its low-end torque was perfect for stop-and-go delivery. They called it the Long Life vehicle, and it was designed for a 24-year lifespan. At peak production, Grumman was rolling 95 trucks off the line every single day. By 1994, when production ended, approximately 142,000 LLVs had been built, making it one of the largest single vehicle orders in history. For the first 2 decades, the LLV was exactly what America needed. The aluminum body proved virtually corrosion resistant, and the simple mechanical systems were easy to maintain. These weren't cars built for comfort. They were exceptionally good tools. But tools eventually wear out, and the LLV's problems began emerging around 2010. The chassis components, based on 1980s GM technology, started requiring parts that were no longer in production. As Union President Mark Diamondstein put it, postal mechanics became miracle workers, fabricating replacement components by hand just to keep the fleet moving. Then the fire started. Since 2014, at least 407 LLVs have caught fire, roughly 1 every 5 days. The culprit was a design flaw that placed the windshield washer fluid reservoir directly over the fuse box. When fluid leaked into the electrical system, the results were predictable and terrifying. If these were consumer vehicles, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration would have issued an immediate recall, but the fires continued. By 2021, each LLV was costing more than $5,000 annually just to stay on the road, and the fuel economy had degraded to a real-world 10 miles per gallon. Worse, the vehicles lacked air conditioning, turning them into what workers grimly called easy bake oven. The human cost became undeniable. In 2017, mail carrier Peggy Frank was found unresponsive in her truck on a 117-degree day in California. The coroner determined hyperthermia was the cause of death. In June 2023, Eugene Gates collapsed and died in Dallas after working 36 years for the Postal Service. The heat index had reached 115 degrees, and workers began recording temperatures of 120 degrees inside their trucks. A replacement program that should have begun in 2018 was already years behind schedule when the USPS finally awarded a contract to Oshkosh Defense in 2021. The next generation delivery vehicle promised air conditioning and modern safety, but that program has become its own disaster. Originally scheduled for 2023, only 2,500 vehicles had been delivered by November 2025. Factory was building just one truck per day instead of the planned 80. The cost per unit had ballooned to nearly $78,000 for electric versions, nearly triple the inflation-adjusted cost of the original LLVs. Political controversy erupted over electrification, with environmental lawsuits forcing revisions and $3 billion from the Inflation Reduction Act being poured in. Now, political winds are shifting again. Transition teams are reportedly considering canceling the electrification effort, and legislation has been introduced to force the sale of electric vehicles already bought. Meanwhile, Canada Post quietly solved their problem back in 2010 by replacing their Grumman fleet with simple, efficient Ford Transits. The Grumman LLV represents something uniquely American, a vehicle so overbuilt that it refused to die when it was supposed to. These trucks were designed when American manufacturing meant aerospace-grade engineering for everyday problems. Yet that same durability has become a curse. They work just well enough to defer replacement, leaving drivers to suffer in the heat while mechanics perform daily miracles with salvaged parts. The death of the LLV isn't just the end of a truck. It's the end of an ERA when we could design something right the first time and build it to last decades. As these veterans finally march to the scrapyards, they take with them the DNA of the Apollo program and the last remnant of an America that could put a man on the moon and deliver the mail with equal precision. The LLV was supposed to die years ago, but instead, it has become immortal, not through success, but through our inability to actually replace it. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and join our community. Thank you for watching.